Hello guys, welcome to another amazing and detailed tutorial again. In today's teaching, we are going to be showing how to make chocolate ganache. First, before we do that, we are going to make heavy whipped cream because it's part of the ingredients for making chocolate ganache. So this thing I'm holding now, this white thing is heavy whipped cream. Because of how expensive it is to get heavy cream in the market, it is best to show you how to make it using your whipped cream powder. And also, if you even buy it, you don't really need much quantity like that. You might end up wasting it. So first, how to make this heavy whipped cream or heavy cream is when you put a particular quantity, you double that quantity in water. If you put 50 grams of whipped cream powder, you put 100 grams of water. If you put 10 grams of whipped cream powder, you put 20 grams of water. If you put 100 grams of whipped cream powder, you put 200 grams of water. So how you do is that you double the this thing is 50:100 or so. So you know that the gram you are using for your whipped cream powder, you are doing the double to get it for the water quantity. So if you want to do this thing, after that, after adding the water, you turn it and put it in the fridge for, like, if you want to use it tomorrow, you can do it today. But in case you want to use it today, when you turn this thing, put it in the freezer. Instead of putting it in the fridge, you put it in the freezer for at least 1 hour. You are still going to get the same result if you put it in the freezer. So the one that is inside this plastic plate now was the one I did a day before. So I'm just doing this one now for the purpose of this video, or in case it wasn't enough, which it was definitely not enough, I still had to use this one again. So what you do is that you mix it well, make sure that there is no lump, dissolve it, let everything be properly dissolved inside the water, and then put it in the fridge if you are leaving it the next day, or in the freezer. Now for our chocolate ganache, I want to show us the double boiling method. This is how the chocolate comes in bars. So you will remove the chocolate and break it. I'll show you, see it in this video. So now the measurement is any quantity of chocolate, you divide it by 4. If you carry if you are going for 800 grams of chocolate now, 800 divided by 4 is 200. So it's going to be 800 grams of chocolate, 200 grams of whipping cream, heavy cream. If you are going for 400 now, 400 divided by 4 is 100. So it will be 400 grams of chocolate and 100 grams of whip heavy cream. If you are going for 100 grams of chocolate now, it will be 100 grams of chocolate and 25 grams of flour of heavy cream. So just know that whatever gram of chocolate you are using, you are going to be dividing it by 4. That is how to know the exact gram of heavy cream that you will use, so that it will not be too thick or it will not be too light. Now you see the way I cut it so that it will be easy to dissolve, because I'm using the double boiling method. For those that don't have microwave, you can either use microwave for this if you have microwave or not, but I just like to use double boiling method for this one to show you, just in case you come across this video and you say, oh, I want to do it, but I don't have microwave. So what you do is that after you've put them together, you just turn it for a while, and then put water inside pot, and put the plate inside the pot, and allow it to boil. I think this process does not even take up to 10 minutes. As it's boiling, you are turning it. You see that it's already dissolving already. As it's heating up, you are turning it, you are turning it. Once you leave it for like 5 to 10 minutes, everything will be properly melted. And then what you have to do is that you will turn it. Use your hand to turn it to ensure that there is no form of any tiny pieces of chocolate lump at all. Everything will come out smooth, and it will be lushing, like you are going to see it at the end of this video. So when doing this thing, please pay attention to this one, because if you have any lump when you are putting it on your cake, you are going to notice it and it will not be fine. But if you have microwave, you can skip this process. Just pop it in the microwave for like 1 to 3 minutes, depends on how high your microwave is. Microwave is going to do a perfect job for this too. So as you can see now, is I'm showing you all the process. It's getting smoother and smoother and smoother. At this point, everything has dissolved already. Everything has dissolved. So I brought it down and then I allow it to cool down a bit. Now, one thing about this chocolate ganache is that as it's cooling down, it's becoming thicker. If you see the one I made before is thick, this one now is not as thick as this one. So after that, you are going to crumb coat your cake. It's not like you cannot pour it directly on your cake, but that means you have to use more of the ganache to cover your cake. So I prefer to, crumb coat it a little so that the cake can be firm. After crumb coating it, I'm going to put it in the fridge or freezer. If you have a freezer, it is better because the cooler the cake, the easier it is to work with ganache. If it's not cool, that means you are going to be wasting time, because even if it is not cold and you didn't put it in the fridge, as breeze is blowing it, the ganache should be getting stronger. But if it is cooler, it is much better. As you are pouring it, it will be firming up. You can see the way I am doing this buttercream now. I am not packing buttercream on it. I am smoothing it. I just want something that will hold all the layers together. Because if you notice, the cake I worked with here was a very moist cake. I have two oil-based cake there: fruit cake, vanilla cake, and red velvet cake, and chocolate cake. So you know what it means to work with those type of cake. So that's why I had to take my time to crumb coat it very well so that it can hold. Crumb coat is like laying a foundation or using block to build or cement. Yes, cement. So that's what I did here. I crumb coated it. After this, I put it in the freezer for about an hour so that the cake can, be frozen a little and be very cold, and also for the cake to hold. So you can see now it is already good. Now I brought it out and brought back my ganache. You can see how lushy this ganache is. This will show you that, oh, the recipe and everything is correct. In the middle of this video, I'm going to show you another type of ganache again that I did to see that this one was just the perfect one. But let's get there. When working with ganache, just know that it's going to be very messy, but don't panic, because once you are done, you are going to clear it. Now, this is the first coat. People do as far as having 3 to 4 coats or 1 or 2 coats. Depends on how thick or how light the ganache you are working with. So first of all, I have to use this to, spread it round, spread it round, spread it round. I was very patient with this. That's why if you can see, this video is very long. I try as much as possible to show 80% of all the process I did without adding speed to it, so that you can understand as you are going through the video. So I try as much as possible to spread it round. And if you notice, as I'm working on it, the ganache is getting stronger. It's getting stronger. I wanted to use this scraper, but for some reason I don't really know how to use this scraper. I'm not comfortable with using this particular scraper. I had to even change to the other scraper that I use, which is the white smoother. So what the idea is that you are going to be doing this thing, you are going to be trying to smoothen it on the body, you are going to be trying to do it, because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of at interval. I was taking it back to the fridge. I was putting it back in the fridge. I was putting it back in the fridge and bringing it out. I'll just put it for like 10 minutes and I'll bring it out so that it can hold a little before bringing it out. So basically, this process is just the same thing. Just roll it, use it to spread it on top, check around if there's any space that there is a particular place that the ganache did not touch. You're just going to, rub it back. If you can see some part of this thing now, I was seeing that the cake was open. So what I did is that I just use it to cover it. So that is how you use it to cover anywhere that you notice any form of. This is the point where I put the second covering. I told you that you can use as many times as you want until you notice that, oh, this is fully covered. So I'm pouring now the second coating of the ganache, and I'm basically doing the same thing that I did for the first time. All I have to do is to pour it and carefully let it go round. If you notice again, this one is also very lush. So basically, I'm just going to be doing the same thing of covering and trying to smooth everywhere. I'm just trying to use my palette knife to make sure that everything is properly covered. You see the way it's drawing like it's still. So that is it. I'm trying to, smoothing everywhere. I'm generous with it. I like to go around, cover it before using my smoother to smoothen it better. See, you have to cover all the parts, make sure that they are properly covered. See, this is not something you can easily rush oh, mostly as a beginner. If you're trying it for the first time, don't think that oh you're going to rush it oh. No, it might not work out like that. So I'm trying to use my smoother because this smoother is not high, like it's not long enough. So it was difficult because I'm not getting the same size for it. If I was using that long smoother now, everything would have just been going the same. Like I'll get the same size. I tried to, go back to this my long smoother and it was working here because at this point now you could notice that the ganache is becoming thicker or stronger because I was putting it in the fridge and bringing it out. I was putting it into the fridge and bringing it out. I did not even spend a lot of time. I also noticed that even if I don't put it in the fridge, it is still going to hold on to it. But I was just trying to, save time because this took a lot of time. If you see the minute of this now with some other part that we even had to remove, everything here still took a lot of time. So after this my second coating, I still noticed that oh, it was still not strong enough. It was still a little bit light, and I ran out of the ganache I made already. It was finished. I had to make another one. And this another one that I made now. This was where the problem started. Yes, the other one that I made, my heavy cream, I don't put it in the freezer for up to 1 hour. I was rushing. So I just allowed it to cool for some time. I just left it in the fridge. I wasn't sure it was up to an hour. When I saw it, it was not like the first one I did. It was not like that heavy cream. I was just thinking, oh, it's the same thing. That is to say, you can't even do this thing with whipped cream. You have to leave it in that freezer and allow it to process from heavy cream to whipped cream. As you can see at this point now, it's already becoming stronger. This would have been perfect though. I would have been able to leave it like this. But I was still feeling that it is light. The ganache is very light. The ganache is very light. So let me add more. If you notice now, you will see that the ganache is becoming stronger. That's because I put it in the fridge for some minutes. Also, while I was combing it, I was seeing that some parts are opening to confirm that truly this ganache covering is really light. So I should do it one more coating because this first and second coating that I did, it was not giving what I wanted. And this was where I made that mistake that I explained. My chocolate ganache was finished, but I had chocolate bars left and I don't have heavy cream. So I said, let me quickly, do the heavy cream. I did not follow the exact step. That's why I told you. If you are doing that heavy cream, if you put water, if you want to use it today, put it in the freezer. It must be the freezer. It must be a freezer. At least you leave it for like 1 hour plus, it will work. But if you put it in the fridge, even if it's 2 to 3 hours, it will still not work. Now look at the ganache. Now you can see that it's not lushy like that first one. Is breaking. It's not even supposed to break. As I'm putting it, everything is supposed to drop together, but it was breaking. When I said breaking, I already knew that oh, this might be a problem, but I thought I'll be able to manage it, which I eventually did though, but it made me waste a lot of chocolate, and these chocolates are very expensive because I had to do another good one again to cover it. This was supposed to be the last one, but because of the way it wasn't forming very well. If you notice, this particular place really gave me tough time. Just that I've gone too far to stop, so I had to, what can I do to make it right? What can I do to make it right? I just had to use the remaining chocolate bars, do a smaller quantity, and pour on it. This third covering now would have been perfect, but because of what happened, if you are looking at it now, you see that the ganache is not coming together. It is separating. It is breaking. I don't know if you can see it from the video, but I experienced it that day. I saw it. Maybe if you cannot see it, maybe I would have just skipped it, but no, I just want to show you my experience. So that when you want to do it again, don't say, "Oh, I don't have time," or let me. Sometimes shortcut will always end to long cut. You can see this particular one is not as smooth, it's not silky or lushy as the first one. At this point, I already knew that something is wrong. Look at it. It was not coming together at all. It wasn't coming together. So what I did was I had to do the remaining one. I did it the right way. I waited, put it in the freezer, waited for 1 hour 30 minutes so that the whipping cream can convert to heavy cream. Okay, I was still trying to see if I can still manage it, but it wasn't coming together at all. So at this point, I decided to pop it in the freezer for some minutes and I brought it out again. Even after putting it in the freezer, I noticed that it was now getting worse. Like the chocolate ganache did not form well at all. If you notice, you will see that it is already getting strong here. But because of this same mistake I did, it's pulling out. Like the chocolate was now pulling out because it just seemed like it was just something else that I melted. So the reason I'm showing all this thing is for us not to make the same mistake. If you look at the edges now, no matter how careful, I'm even being careful, it was still pulling out. So the reason I'm sharing this now is for us not to make the same mistake. If you want to work on chocolate ganache and you don't have money to buy heavy cream and you want to use this method of producing your heavy cream, please be patient with it. If you are using a freezer, at least 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour at least. But if you are not using a freezer, you want to use it the next day, you can put it in a fridge and allow it to stay overnight. See, I could have easily deleted all this part, but I was just still showing us so that we will see the effect of not using the right heavy cream for chocolate ganache. So that you also know that chocolate ganache is not just about melting chocolate and pouring it. Now you can see it, you are seeing the effect of it. It wasn't come together at all. It wasn't coming together. I honestly did not want to use the remaining chocolate because I've used enough chocolates here already. But based on the fact that it wasn't coming together, I just to know that the best thing to do to this thing is to do the right one and pour on top. You can see the way it was breaking, like it was breaking seriously because plate was not silky from the beginning. If you notice that this other one I pour, this my coating that I pour, it did not come out lushy. I don't know how to say it. It come out like the way the first and the second one did. So that's why you see that I was still struggling. This would have taken this long like this. But because of the way it was, I just knew that this thing will not work. So this is when I pour the last one now. If you see this one now, this one is silky. It's not like that one. So this was when I just used many chocolates to work on it. I just use it to cover the error of the second one. So if you do it rightly, it is going to come out well. It rightly. That's where the problem is coming from. You see the way it's coming out. It's coming out very lushy, not like that first one. I put this in the fridge and I waited for my heavy cream to convert to. I waited for my whipped cream to convert to heavy cream before using it on the chocolate, melting it to turn to ganache. So please, if you want to do your own, you just have to be patient. You see the way it's working now. It's just covering one. All those things that were opening, it wasn't there again. All those things that were opening, it wasn't there again. Once you get your heavy cream right, you will definitely get the ganache right. If I were to use normal heavy cream, maybe I won't have expected, but the cost of things are so expensive. That's why I went for this option. Please, if you are watching up to the moment and you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly click on the notification button, click on the subscription button and turn on your notification button so that you get more information when I upload again. I was just trying to, use this good one to cover the bad side, use it to cover those that were badly affected. I was just trying to use it to work on it here, and as you can see, it is working perfectly. It is working perfectly. It was just what I needed. I've done this from that this third coating. I won't be needing this one. But it's because of that particular one bad That's why I was not using this one. And based on the way that one was, it really affected the outcome of this ganache. It was not that perfect, but with this idea, you can get a perfect one. I couldn't peel off those other ones again. So this just it. You just have to be careful and be patient with it. Ganache is not something you rush, mostly in our African weather or Nigerian weather to be precise. All those white people, when you are in winter, you don't even need to put it in fridge. As you're doing it is forming. But we that our weather is very, very hot, you are experiencing hot weather, even as you are walking is melting again. But when the weather is not hot, it will not be problem. As you can see, I didn't put this last last one in the fridge, but as I was working on it, it was just getting hard because the weather was not very hot. So I was working on it, it was just it was forming. So that's one thing. So now this is me trying to get the top, try to smoothen the top. Because of that very bad one, it was not really easy to get a smooth finishing on the top, but I was able to manage it. Just the way you do your buttercream top smoothing, whipped cream smoothing, that is how you do your ganache smoothing. So I was able to manage it to it well. One thing you need to do is that as you're working on it, you're just going to be checking the body. You'll still be seeing some parts that needs to be filled, some parts that needed to be filled up as you're working on it. You're going to be seeing the parts. So what you just have to do is take the ganache and fill up those spaces that you see holes, or the places that you feel that they are not smooth enough. Fill it up with the chocolate ganache so that you can now comb everything at once. Mind you, use a very long comb that we go once. It is better than using this comb that I will do down and do up, but really flexible with that my other comb. That's why I prefer to use this particular one for some time. So now I've allowed it to get cold a bit. So I want to still check round where there's still holes. A lot of parts that is not closed. Even when you feel that, oh, this part is closed before, but you're still going to be seeing it. So what you just have is that still use your chocolate ganache to cut, and then use smoother to smoothen it round. Use smoother to smoothen it round the body. So the top, you can either it's when it's cold, you can either cut off the excesses like the way I'm doing it now. When it's cold, I don't think it was really cold here. If it is very cold and you cut off the excesses, it will come out. Or you use your palette knife to smoothen it like this, the way I'm doing it on the top. At this point, it was getting cold, but it was not that cold. That is why it was easy for me to use my palette knife to smoothen the top like the way I did it here, and then use it to do the sharp edge like when you need on buttercream. Like one thing with this thing, you just have to be very careful. If you rush it, you might not get the exact result that you want. Also, if it's that cutting one that is easier for you to do, once it's cold, you can cut off the excess to get the sharp edge. But this was the one I did and it came out really nice. So after this, after the final one, I'm still going to put it in the freezer, maybe for like 10 minutes or 30 minutes for it to, get stiff. At least you can see that all the body is covered. There's no hole in particular place again. There's no hole on any part. So I just carefully do it and work on it. After leaving it in the freezer for like that 10 to 30 minutes for the last one, then you will now bring it out, because after then everything is already set. In order to make it smooth for the last time, you're going to use your steamer to steam it so that it will be hot again. Why you are steaming it is to make it warm for you to warm it, and after that you are just going to use your smoother to smoothen the body very well. After this process, at this point, you know that your ganache is ready to be used. Please do not use it while it is still warm. Allow it to cool down a bit. If possible, put it back in the fridge. Once it's cool, you can use it for either buttercream, whipped cream, or fondant. Although a lot of people prefer to use it for fondant, but if your customer requested for it, it can be used for any form of covering. Thank you so much, guys, for staying by. Thank you. If you have any question, please do not forget to leave it in the comment section. Thank you, and see you on my next video. Bye.